Hello, my last gamer. Welcome to the video. I just wanted to let you know I do have a Discord and a Twitter if you ever want to interact with me or say hi or have a conversation. And if you ever want to catch these videos live, head over to my Twitch and my Kick and come hang out. I sometimes don't talk. That's unfortunately one of my mini quirks. Is my inability to formulate thoughts as my brain focuses in on what I'm doing, and then I just forget to speak. So I'm always up to hang out and chat with anyone that stops by. So hope you enjoyed the video. Welcome back to Sleeper Citizen 2. We're my brain. We're going to be going out into the deepness of space, helping out one of the lieutenants and 𝓤𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻. We're going to do the 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓮𝓸𝓻 and possibly get a spoofer. Find Oliveira. Exactly where Andy Erika said it would be a ragged colony nestled in the crater of the biggest rocks on the shoals. 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓬𝓙 gets no response from initial broadcast, and so you find yourself in a docking tunnel, rig one end, the colony at the other, with no idea what awaits you. I need to get back to that ship and keep flying. You freeze in the dark tunnel, a figure in front of you, leaning long good at their hip. I'm serious. Your eyes adjust the dark as you see a man, no boy, carrying a long rifle, dark shape in his hand. I don't know how you found us, but I need you to leave right now and forget this place. You glance over your shoulder and see 𝓢𝓵𝓮, his hands is in front of him, gesture come. Also, why the fuck have we not been able to get a gun this entire game? I just realized that. We should have been able to get a gun at some point in this game. Because everyone seems to have fucking guns. Fucking 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 has guns, everyone has, or is it 𝓥𝓥𝓪 has fucking guns. Everyone has fucking guns in this fucking world except our character. Why is that? Look, Kevin, we mean no harm. How about you go run on and get someone? I am someone. I'm 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻. He sticks his jaw. It's you, I don't know. I'll decide who's gonna do some harm. He reaches across his chest, thumbs on the lamp. He's lashed there. You blink in the glare, the bright light shielding your eyes. As you see a flicker of confusion across Xavier's face. He meets your eyes, looks with shot, opens his mouth to speak. There's no words. We have something for Carbon. Notice a familiar name register with 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻, adding to whatever confusion or question your appearances have provoked. See his eyes taking in your sleeper body. As his gun drops a little, he takes his attention off of it. Is this? He looks between you and 𝓢𝓵𝓮. Are you for Flynn? He pulls the gun closer to himself. I'll be honest, Clint, I have no idea who you're talking about. 𝓢𝓵𝓮 allows him to drift forward. So, how about you drop the gun and we can talk like adults? 𝓢𝓵𝓮 flits past you. He gives you a look that makes you nervous. We're just here to deliver something. 𝓥𝓮𝓬? The voice echoes along docking bridge. 𝓥𝓮𝓬, what are you doing? A figure appears at the end of the bridge head. Or behind 𝓥𝓮𝓬, a young woman is certainly older than the boy in front of you. Found these two trying to sneak in, Cadence. 𝓥𝓮𝓬 keeps his eyes on you. 𝓢𝓵𝓮 as he speaks. Saboteurs, maybe? Was about to send them away. 𝓥𝓮𝓬 grins. Sure, I will assure you we're not saboteurs, Miss. 𝓢𝓵𝓮 smiles at Cadence. Cadence sighs and glides toward 𝓥𝓮𝓬. Stop messing around with that welder. Wait, there's a fucking welder. She stashes the gun out of Xavier's hands. She does. You and 𝓢𝓵𝓮 regularly French. Cadence looks at you both, raised eyebrow, and turns to the gun so you can see it better. Oh yeah, it says it's fucking dark, so we couldn't see it properly. And you notice there's a fuel tank rolling muzzle. It's probably as an effective range of less than half a foot. Seraphim looks at Xander and rolls his eyes. Seriously? Cadence lowers the welder and turns to Xander. Now is not the time. We just had an emergency broadcast from Carbon and Flint. Something happened. Xander's attitude changes immediately. He turns to face Cadence, putting his back to you, as if you had just disappeared completely. What do you mean something happened? I don't know. They went quiet in the shoals. That's someone's distress signal. Cadence raises her hands reassuringly. Don't get excited. They probably just had a technical fault in the ship. We need to check it out anyway. We have to get them. Xander grabs the welder and clings it over his shoulder. And what? Xander? They took our only functional ship. The Tinder Tide is still pieces in the hangar. Seraphim gives you a nudge towards Cadence and Xander. This is your chance. We have a ship. Xander wheels around at the tunnel, squinting in thought. Seraphim moves past you to approach them. We need to see Carmen. And it seems like Carmen needs our help. He looks between them two. So how about we stop messing around with this dingy tunnel and go get your friend? Xander turns back to Cadence. Them? Really? He rolls his eyes. We're not the only people on the elevator. There must be another ship. It must be other ships. You want to go looking? They're here now. Cadence looks at Seraphim. And they're generously offering to help. She smiles sheepishly. Fine. Xander folds his arms. I'm coming with you. Fine by us. Seraphim shakes his head. Looks at you. Come on then. You both turn and head back to the ship. Seraphim whispering as you do. What kind of packed water has Annika sent us to? He sighs. That kid thinks he's some kind of sheriff. That's just fine, Carmen. Seraphim agrees. Nods and agreed. What are you talking about? Xander catches up to you and Seraphim. His mood seems buoyed on the prospect of boarding a ship. Wondering how often he gets to leave elevator. You? Seraphim snickers. Xander looks genuinely hurt for a second. Wait up! You see Cadence gliding up the tunnel. Changing my mind. I'm coming too. Give me a minute and I'll grab some supplies. He glances at Xander just in case. Seraphim cuts in. I'll give you a hand. That's all right. Sleeper? We'll be there in a second. He looks at you. You pause, but Seraphim doesn't seem to be waiting for confirmation. He and Cadence head back into the dock. You're slightly thrown off by his eagerness to help. This is the first time you actually seen him welcoming anyone coming on board the rig. You get to the cockpit, you notice Xander looking wide at the consoles and switches. Cool ship. He grins. After a short ride. That would have been funny if you actually made a mention of the model ship. After a short while, Cadence and Seraphim come into the cockpit, all lifted up. Seraphim passes Xander on the shoulder. Might want a strapping kid. Xander and Cadence find a place to settle, and Seraphim buckles himself into the seat. Alright, he turns to Xander. Show us where to go. The darkness flows around you. That was really fucking weird. Okay, the darkness flows around you, and you... What comes next? What? Sleeper, multi... You know what comes next. Okay, Bliss having their head the fucking ways they're doing. Sleeper, the multi-part images of the observer assemble itself. We must intervene in your current course. Intervene on what? The opening of your systems has breached the existence of the Persian. You are dangerously exposed. The voice somehow soundless and shrill. We're sharing your hardware. That means we too are fatally exposed. This individual agent you encounter were almost completely erased by the attempt to seize control. Overseer nods eagerly in agreement. It's Lane. We have knowledge of the name in your memory banks. Much interest to record it there, though often partially inconsistently the overseer warns in settling, but we able to confirm Lane's role in this vulnerability. It is our understanding the assumption is inevitably incorrect. Overseer goal is right data, but this state we cannot operate with full functionality. If we were able to be recompiled in our correct configuration, we believe we'll be able to calculate a new path. Our aim is to close the vulnerabilities and reinforce the system. This would ensure the safety within your system. The eyes lock onto you. Would this please you? Can't we just use the ship mind again and use the hyper power of 2 minds to fucking boost the current one? Anyway. Can stop it? Correct. Overseer shudders and glitches in animation. What our experience was in total system maintenance and security beyond our administration and navigation capabilities. We were built to do this. At least that's what we understand. Without being recompiled, we are aware that these capabilities, but we cannot access them. We're confident this subject agree that we know how to complete the process once recompiled. The 3 heads nod together. Recompile. The resolve thoughtfully for a moment. That original code base we cannot recompile. If we're able to speak with the Sulheim system engineer, perhaps the lead 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 convinced you, perhaps we could then the heads stare you expecting like 3 partially constructed publics. Sulheim is gone. Yes. They nod repeatedly, of course. Then continue on. We were of course aware of this. You know, look at the fragment program itself. Systems unstable and broken. You realize it's far worse off than you. So the protocol tried to I'm assuming intervene, but almost got fucking erased. Its collapse is inevitable. How can you possibly save you? It's a difficulty, but Overseer flickers between poses. All code bases are held within the central Sulheim facilities. They are Station A1, the Con Station Operations Center, the Control Center of the Asteroid Belt Extraction Project. Overseer smiles. Is that 𝓥𝓲𝓽𝓲𝓃? Habib, is that 𝓥𝓲𝓽? Immediately latched on the thought. Based on your memory banks. Correct. The entire conversation is happening with you is unsettling. I can't go back to 𝓥𝓲𝓽. Correct. The nurse will advise about what precaution. We understand these individuals seeking to overwrite you at the station. In the Habib prep itself, the Overseer of the 3 heads separate towards an inward conference. The shattered heads turn simultaneously unsettling in the directness to address you, but if you're able to access mainframe without making yourself known, construct ourselves and the ability to reconstruct you. Theoretically, one of the heads adds. Theoretically, the other 2 heads says. Theoretically? Theoretically, they confirm agree. Reassurances of a delusional program are barely reassuring, but if the Overseer is correct, we will, option. We feel your doubt, but must impress upon the importance of this. Please, Overseer flashes all 6 of them. As, if not for your sake, ours. If you cannot find your way to Habib before encountering this lane, you will surely be overwritten. You also share your fate. If you'd like this to happen, you sigh for the exhaustion for the conversation and get the message. We'll leave you to recharge, but please consider the path ahead. You come back to the rig. Paneling bunk. Somewhere behind your eyes begin to take the envy of the Overseers for lack of the body, the pain. And then you suddenly ponder sharing your... If it's sharing your pain too, thought makes it pity the broken protocol in the sense in time. Place shattered, perhaps you should... Perhaps you share more than you care to admit. The path ahead begins to take shape. It seems to return to 𝓥𝓲𝓽𝓲𝓃 Neville, but you need help to... You'll need help to make that return. You head out to the shoals in the thick debris of the field surrounding 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻. What's happening here, Sleeper? Bliss pokes their head into the cockpit as Seraphim brings the ship towards the signal. Coordinates 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 gave them. In the cockpit, Xander is tapping at the cockpit console mounted in the front of the seating haphazardly. While Cadence is asking for Seraphim how the rig works, surprisingly Seraphim responds with patience and care. Does Seraphim like Cadence? Is that where this is going? Help us find Carmen. If you say so, Bliss, looking over at Seraphim and Cadence. Is Seraphim smiling? They shake their head. Something's going on. Bliss turns back to you. Gina is working on the ship wiring and won't respond to my messages. She's probably in the wall somewhere, hooked up to the main line. She smiles a weak smile. I'm here, so could you tell me what we're doing in the middle of nowhere? Quiet, Seraphim cuts through the chatter. Is that... Gestures out into the debris field, a ragged-looking shape tucked behind the rock. She rushes to the cockpit. Carmen! A moment, the lieutenant's silent. That's his ship. You Bliss exchange a concerned glance. This isn't good. I'll bring her in. Seraphim's eyes fixed on the wreck. A crumpled ship now. We don't know anything, so everyone calm down. Xander is silent, his face pressed against the glass. Cadence stares up at the wreck, her cheeks pale. No one speaks until the rig is brought to a stop. Alright. We're going out there. We'll have to poke around. Seraphim looks between Cadence and Xander. We need to verify the ship and recover the crew. Seraphim gives you and Bliss a nod. Both push off and glides towards the back of the cockpit. Suddenly, Xander pushes off the cockpit. I'm coming too. He's somebody to identify his ship, and to identify, he takes a breath. Are you sure? I'm sure, Xander or gets the words out and then pushes on ahead towards the airlock. You follow behind, ready to see up and investigate the wreck. Okay, I'm gonna burn this glitch dice. First. Search the ship. Some way to find out what happened is search the ship. That's no easy task, as it's been blasted in debris. Crippled ship with the holes in its hull, crew missing. Some thought and careful assessment. Perhaps the wreck can tell a story. But I hope recovering Carmen and Finn, dead or alive, you need to start out at the wreck and work your way out. Alright, just so I don't get stressed, I'm gonna go waste this die on the rigs. Mushroom harvest. No one has good dice, so we're just gonna end it. Oh, I got that rare W. Since what happened here, it's time for a different conversation. I didn't even read the finished things. Derp. I am a derp. The search for Carmen's guided ship has impacted the mood of the rig. More and more evidence of an attack has appeared. The quieter Xander has got the more cadence, and the more cadence has retreated into the bunks. Now, the simple search complete, you gather in the cockpit to discuss what you found. Come on, Cadence floats by the door, hugging against the cold. Tell us already. Xander is perched on one of the seats, flickering a hinged container he found in the wreck. Open and close, open and close. Explain carefully. Start by summarizing the search, talking about the details, picking your language carefully. Describe the damaged ship, but not the attack. You talk about the occupants of the ship without mentioning what happened to them. Seraphin comes in quietly. What the sleeper's saying, he gives you a look. The ship was hit by weapons fire. I didn't want a lot. I was just saying carefully, like, yeah, I got blood, like, fucking Mass Effect dialogue options right there. Then the drive was fried up. They attempted to flee and the drive burned out. The ship, after hitting multiple rocks and debris, came to a halt here. He takes a breath. We found no bodies. In the letter word of bodies, a shudder runs through those assembled. They were there somewhere. Xander sternly looks in his eyes, and we'll find them where safe then. He looks at Kate. She nods back at him. Look, Xander's right. We're leaving them out there. Carmen made Oliver what it is. He saved us. Coming back without him, she shivers at Xander. He would do the same for... I'm very concerned that we're going to go back to Oliver and it's going to be fucking gone. Based on the damage the ship, Seraphin begins. They're almost certainly we're dead. We get it. Xander cuts him off. But there's debris and trail leading away from the ship. I've seen them. There, Seraphin holds his hand up. But those could be from secondary explosions or decompression. We pick up the wrong trail. It could lead us in circles, cycle after cycle. Maybe we pick up the right one. Cadence and Xander has a steely look now. Cadence has Xander steely look down. She stares directly at Seraphin, challenging him to answer. That's what we'll do. He looks at you in resignation. Whatever happens here, you won't be leaving till you see its end. Map the debris fields. Scan the debris fields help you surely figure out where this lead might lead. But it's painstaking work. With the possible three trails, it's impossible to know which one is the right. Well, I'll explain further. I clicked away from that. Again, everyone's fucking... Bliss is fucking useless here. I'm literally having to pull the fucking weight of this operation. Alright, good, we got the supplies. Well, I got infinite supplies. I don't need to be worried about rushing it. So it takes shape, something seems off. Is this the right direction? Because we can be out here indefinitely as long as I keep getting the good enough rolls to harvest. Map at conclusion clear that it's dead and the crew went elsewhere. It's leading us anywhere, sleeper. I'm sorry, but we have to call it. Look at the scattered debris, cleaning the sunlight. Bliss is right. The trails are clear. If someone did head out to the ship this way, no way able to find them if they didn't. There are more places to look. Bliss interrupts us. We won't give them yet. You think of Xander and Cadence, how they might feel right now. Search must continue. Piece of attack, but not just of an attack, but a rapid retreat. Forget the trail of the cave. Search continually when there's going to be found. The cave is dark, winding, but sharp aids might spot something gleaning debris. The trail might lead somewhere. Look, careful exploration. We're making good progress. Get let out. Circles, no progress in me in the dark. Alright, I'm gonna test. Lost one of my dice just due to stress. There's light, the dark flickering and fading. Trail leads to barren, airless caves. It's hard to imagine someone surviving here for long. When Starward Trail leads to the caves, the little hopes cling to the hearts of the crew, but after pumming the depths, dark patches, hope seems snuffed out. The Xander is struggling in silence, only speaking to update cadence in the lack of news via the cockpit interface. But he speaks now quietly at first, then with increasing urgency. A light sleeper, a light. And with that, he kicks off hard. The wall darts down to the tunnel with reckless speed. You follow, but the tunnels are winding, and you quickly lose Xander around the corner. You kick off the same wall trying to close the gap. You come around the same corner, you can't find Xander anywhere, and then you see it. A thin slit in the cable, a flickering light, fading light. You cross over, you see scratches, chunks, scrapes the rocks. Someone has been dragged through here. You push through. Xander's already running off trying to fucking find them, so there's no point in me contacting them. Push away floating rocks. You squeeze in the gap as you do. Much light pulsates in the cave, setting cracks and shapes of the rock. Sharply, when you search the shadows, something recognizable, but the source of light remains out of sight. And then you're through, you're steady yourself against the wall, looking towards the light. There, besides the fate emergency lamp floating your body, it's hard to instantly striking as a strange and misshapen. You know immediately this must be Carmen. His head's shrouded emergency helmet inflated around him like a balloon. The oxygen container floats nearby, attached to it too. His body's closed, his eyes are closed, his body's still. You try to settle your gaze on his chest to see if your telltales were his son. And then the light catches something else. Something broken, a skeletal nearby, a face with bright eyes watching you. Oh! That's a sleeper! A sleeper. Another sleeper. They watch you with lit irises, just like yours. Their torn face reveals no emotion. Their pose crouched, coiled, even like a spring-rating strike. They both freeze, unsure, afraid, nothing moves. Your eyes trace the damage to their suit, to their body. I can fucking see synthetic organs sticking out. They look broken, worn down, and you wonder, is this how you look to others? If they flinch when they see you, as you feel the need to... As you feel the need to know... To know or to now? Carmen, Xander's panicked voice cuts through the silence. He rushes towards the floating body. As he does, the other sleeper pulls away from the wall like a statue coming to life. For a moment, you go to intervene to save Xander from the skeletal figure, but then the sleeper falls on Xander's embrace. Xander returns with a hug. You float stunned, watching Xander begin to carry Carmen's body from the cave, with Flynn the sleeper guiding him. Carmen Sable, Cadence coming from the room, makeshift medbay. She looks between you and 𝓤𝓵. Thank you. And Flynn? Cadence pauses, choosing her words carefully. Flynn is in there with Carmen. They seem to be functional. She looks away, if that's what you mean. She headed back to 𝓤𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻. 𝓤𝓵 cuts and places your hand on your shoulder and steers you away towards the cockpit. It's kind of fucking obvious with his synthetic organs hanging out and his fucking faceplate. Once you're out of earshot, 𝓤𝓵 turns to you. Did you know Flynn was a sleeper? No. 𝓤𝓵 nods. I don't want to be suspicious. I'm just surprised that. That's all. 𝓤𝓵 puts back the magazine. They look different. Different how? 𝓤𝓵 sighs and 𝓤𝓵's words. Just never seen a sleeper like that. He looks away. I'll go get her started up. He pats you on the shoulder. Head to cockpit. Let's keep an eye on them, okay? Looks like the sleeper got hit by weapons fire, but somehow is still functional. Leaves you floating the corridor, unsure what to think. Flynn is the first sleep you've met since your escape from the program. At this point, those memories are little more than fragments and fictions. As the rumble of the drive runs through the ship, you can't help but to get a little concerned what that might mean. I'm trying to fix the sleeper. I am an engineer bot. I feel like I could have some sort of ability to fix other sleepers. You're left alone with 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 on the docks while Carmen's carefully carried rigged by Finn, guided away one of our elevator's many tunnels and passages. Okay, I believe you, 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 shrugs his shoulders. 𝓤𝓵 raises his eyebrow. Believe us how? At your saboteur, he shoots you a sheepless grin, although you never know. I appreciate that. No problem. He nods to you, kind of serious that only children possess. Tell me, kid, 𝓤𝓵 folds his arms. Why are you so protective of this place? I mean, no offense, but who want to sabotage the tin pot colony in the middle of the middle shoals? 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 bristles at the comment, but controls his anger. You don't get it. 𝓤𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 is a refuge. Why do you think we're hiding all the way out here? He glances at you and then back to 𝓤𝓵. I would have thought that you would understand what's at stake. You've seen Flynn. 𝓤𝓵 pauses, unsure on how to respond. He looks embarrassed in silence. Look, 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 says, playing the peacemaker, you brought Carmen back to us. Everyone at 𝓤𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻, thank you for that. How about you stick around a bit, get a feel of the place? If you need to resupply, we can help. We haven't got much, but if you chip in, your share. We're more welcoming than we appear. Just don't expect to buy anything with those chips of yours. 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 pulls his hands. Sips. 𝓤𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 is not for sale. 𝓤𝓵 shrugs. Alright, kid. He glances at you. We appreciate it. We need to hang around until Carmen gets back up and awake anyway. I think we're glad to do the rest. We will be glad of the rest. I'll see you around. 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 touches his brow in a salute and then kicks off, floating out off the docks. 𝓤𝓵 turns to you. A little short-lived doesn't sound bad. I agree. Seraphin smiles. Already then, he stretches out. I'm going to go ahead in town to see what's happening. He winks and glides away. Tell that proper. You're left floating at the docks, unsure what comes next. It doesn't seem like Elaine is going to find you here. So maybe it's perfect time to take a breather, at least until you can bring 𝓥𝓬𝓲𝓽𝓸𝓻 back to Carmen. You turn a little thumb drive over in your pocket. Time to see what Auditor has to offer. You find a figure waiting for you at the dock. You think Xander's hostile greeting. Strive. Is that him again? Where are you headed? Finn leans away from the wall, battered suit. First time you saw them, the damage to their frame concealed beneath their rolls. You still wear beneath the surface. Hydrofighter? Same. Finn nods in the direction. I'll join you. You float together through the docks in silence. Flynn makes you nervous, and their insistence upon intercepting you this cycle hasn't exactly calmed the sensation. Breaking the silence eventually becomes unavoidable. How are you doing? Finn stares ahead, continue their glide. Better than Carmen. The mention of Carmen's name recalls an image of him floating conscious in the light of your arc lamps. Those deep winding caves, you suppressed a shudder. Finn looks sideways, their mask faced, betraying no emotion. It's good you found us. They pause before you move through the word. It could have been sooner, but better than nothing. Finn look just gives you an unsettling feeling, like catching your own reflection in a polished plate hole. Is this what others feel when they speak with you? Watching the crooked mask, the iris lit for signs of human emotion, interpreting the static emulation of facial expressions as they cross your dull face. Finn turns away again. You realize they might feel the same looking at you, each other's mirror, reminding each other the gaps between being seen. What happened out there? Finn pauses. I made a mistake. One I won't make again. They frown, stare forward, offered nothing more. You arrive together at the main bay, the hydro refinery. The space is filled with tanks and ornate matters of pipes. So, Sleeper. Finn face curls in amazement. He uses the monotone everyone refers to you by. I'll let her ask all those hard laborers you contribute to the colony. Show me what you can do. You and Finn join the huddle of workers as they signed. Each person is going to test the product of refining gas liquid to usable fuel, diverting runoff, moderating electrolyzers, feeding the system. The refinery is dotted with glowing terminals and raw data feeds roll across the near readable speed. The refinery is built from spares and runs on homebrew systems. At first, the rawness of the interface pushes you back, but you focus or reapproach and find a way to manipulate the systems. The data spools, the catacodes pulse, and the fuel gathers in the tank. Step back and take a rest, watching the system spin, the others moving to take your place. Something makes you look to one side, a glint that catches your eye, and there's Finn taking their own. You see a glint again, Finn turning something over their finger. You watch it spin a vial of stabilizer. My last vial, Finn speaks without taking the rise of the draft. Even the haze of the lost memories, you can recall the fizzing, the sickness pulse of injection. Depends that your root feeds you frees you from. Saving it for a special occasion. Flynn pockets the vial, meets your eye. You don't need stabilizers, do you? Flynn moves away from the wall when they're resting against. I noticed you were different from the first moment we met. But I didn't realize what it was until now. The way you work, the way you move, without dependence to see it now. Flynn folds their arm. Tell them about the reboot. Tell them that the process that you and Seraphin attempted on the dark side, the one in Linter Lane interrupted. They listened absentmindedly as the workers, watching the workers instead of you. That's not all, is it? Flynn meets your eye. There's something wrong with you, more than just your decaying frame. Your signal your presence, it smells different. Lane did something to me. I'm kind of under that feeling. The feeling I'm an object, a tool to be molded, to be shaped for someone else's use. Here in Oluwela, people are different. Flynn looks at the workers, but I know who I am and what this place brings. All of these people are at risk because of me. That means you too are at risk. A risk to your crew, to me, more importantly to this place. That's what is worrying me. The leader will welcome you just as welcome me, Flynn stretches, and it will do the same despite itself and its own safety. I want you to know because they will pay the cost, those close to you, and you must know they pay it for you. With that, Flynn turns and glides away, leaving no space for response. You watch them leave, their billowing cloak revealing a concealed, glinting, ragged parts of their exposed skeleton as they go. Yeah, because this is what we look like. The I have zero ability to speak looking head ass. Alright, we're gonna go fix ourselves and feed the cat. Okay, I need feel for the ship. We're going to check feel for your news, but you have to oversee the complex automated process. You start to master the extraction process, yields are improving. Sure, the interface extraction system gained nothing for your work. Big sad. Alright, one more day and we'll have fuel. Sound array of voices echo through the tunnel. Following them, you find yourself at the entrance of the clinic where Flint and Xander are locked in a bitter argument. I won't take you out there, Flint. Xander's playing with a sleeper. Look at what happened to Carmen. They'll kill you. Happened to Carmen exactly why I have to go. They will find me here, and when that happens, the whole colony can hear you too. Seraphin comes out of the clinic. Trying to wake up Carmen? Seraphin clocks you. So you see Seraphin clock you, standing in the passageway. Your eyes meet with Seraphin looking away. Neither of you have seen each other since you brought Carmen back to Louverture. I'm trying to make sure what happens to Carmen doesn't happen to anyone else. Flynn folds her arm. I'm the reason he's like he is, and this means it's on me to fix it. What are you talking about? You catch Flynn off guard. They haven't seen you waiting the passage. 𝓤 came for me. That's what happened. To pre the refills. They look down. You know what that means. 𝓤 is the company that created you. The company escaped. The idea of them bearing down on this place sets your nerves on edge. They've long since slipped their grasp, but Lane disabled your track exchange of unwavering service. A gift that became a trap. Flynn's on the run, but Flynn's still on the run. If 𝓤 attacked Carmen's ship, he can't be far away. You look at Flynn and you see a fear in their eye. Your tracker's still active? All of it are shrouded. Flynn looked towards the center of the colony. Carmen managed to get a hold of the signal of the shroud and set it up here. We wanted to keep everyone safe. There's no way 𝓤 could track me here. Am I missing something? Seraphim interrupts. If they can't find here, what's the problem? It's not about the track. The hunter found me in the debris field. They know I escaped. It's only a matter of time before they search brings them here. Silence follows the group as inevitably the problem sets in. 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 looks distraught. You can't, Flynn. 𝓥𝓮𝓬's quiet voice. They'll kill you. Seraphim glances at you and Finn, and you see the mind working for solution. He looks away, frowning. I'm sorry, 𝓥𝓮𝓬. This is how it is. Flynn looks dejected. Unless we get them first. 𝓥𝓮𝓬 smiles at Emperor's smile. Seraphim, what are you thinking? Cadence speaks up for the first time. We know there's a hunter out there scouring the shoals, and we know that they're looking for you, Flynn. That means we would have the upper hand. We don't need to bring them here. We can bring them anywhere we want. Looking around the group. So we get set, we prepare a little surprise, and we wait. Flynn's already shaking their head. The hunter could arrive here at any moment. We don't have time for this. If I had a ship, I would have left already. Then we move you now. We take you somewhere we can prepare. We work hard, fast, and set the ambush. Hunter comes, we'll spring a trap. What kind of trap? That's the thing we'll have to figure out, Seraphim admits, but you have to admit, it beats going to die without a plan. He shoots Flynn a look, and hey, if we fail, the outcome will be the same anyway. Finn doesn't respond immediately. You can see the thinking through, considering their options. I'm coming, 𝓥𝓮𝓬, determined look at his face. We're doing this, I'm coming! Look, kid, I appreciate your enthusiasm, but this is the real thing. A bounty hunter is not going to... It's not patronizing me, 𝓥𝓮𝓬 cuts him off. I know the shoals, you'll need me out there. Conversation is unresolved in small arguments. His location, who should go, how to approach the ambush, the noise grows. The old 𝓢𝓵𝓮𝓮𝓸𝓻 manufacturer Caden's voice raised precise to the noise. That's where you should do it. It's a rock close and far enough from here. It's a real labyrinth. You can lead the hunter there and get them lost inside. Caden's eyes are bright and determined. The place is full of old machines and ordnance. We're afraid to scout anything, so it's unstable. You notice Seraphim watching Caden speak, clearly impressed. The sudden shift to divisive action. You can bring the whole place down on their heads. 𝓥𝓮𝓬 picks up Caden's thread. I know the manufacturer. It's a good idea. Look between the gathered Finn, the stubborn protective, Caden's sharp eyes, 𝓥𝓮𝓬's relentless desire to get involved, and Flynn, a sleeper like you, a sleeper in need of escape. 𝓥𝓮𝓬 was building something here, a shrouded haven, a place that needs protecting. Maybe unconscious behind those doors floating amongst the wires and tubes of the clinic. Something of him is here in this group, making a plan of resistance. Flynn meets your eyes, and you know what has to be done. The ring will leave Oliveira this cycle. You have hunter trap. Go top up on fuel. Cadence believes this place is a trap for Flynn's pursuer. Only you'll have a few cycles to prepare, so faster you head up the better. Corroded plates, twisted struts, a scatter of scrap. The manufacturer makes a familiar sight. One more ragged artifact from the corporate that owned the system. that once known in the system. Despite that, something about it sets you on edge, perhaps because it also will form the crucible. Your tip to take on the SMR punter. Those kinds entire drops bring to escaped sleepers, dead or alive. The rig tucked behind the rock running low power with its shroud spanner off. You hope that's enough to not draw attention. So talk us through. 𝓤𝓵𝓮𝓷, back to 𝓢𝓵𝓮 and 𝓥𝓮𝓷, all of whom crammed in the cockpit along with the crew. We make it look like a colony that the hunter will expect. Cadence will suggest first quivering a little anxiety. We can seal up some of the holes, maybe install some lighting and fake it up. Okay, that's a good idea. That's good. What then? We'll force him to go deep. 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻 cuts in, looking at him and pauses, a little intimidated by the tension, but Flynn nods at him to continue. I've been out here before on a salvage run. There's a similar line that runs along the whole place, filled with old machinery machines. We sell doors, activate machines, making a maze of malfunctioning construction arms, dead ends. Alright, I like it. And if we get lucky, maybe one of those old machines will do the job for us. I doubt it, Flynn joins in. We need the ordnance from the silos, mining charges, fuel, whatever's left in this place, churning on Solheim's goods. They further well. We blow this place, make sure. Silence passes in the cockpit. The danger of what you're about to attempt is drawing everyone present. Okay, 𝓤𝓵𝓮 has a dark look. That's the plan. We can detonate the ordnance with the command of the rig. A simple wideband signal command will get them. 𝓤𝓵𝓮 pats Flynn on the shoulder. Once they go in, the hunter isn't coming back out. Anything else we missed? What if they don't take the bait? And I engage. Flynn rubs their hands nervously. Or their hand nervously. I'll lead them indirectly, right? Right. Confirmed loudly. How long do we think we have? It's a lot of factory down there. Hunter got me in carbon flask. Looks at the carpet. No more than 3 cycles. Then the hunter came for us. Flynn grimaces, remembering the attack on the Kermer ship. They came out of nowhere. Hit us hard, fast. Wasn't from Carmen. We need to be ready for anything. There won't be a warning. 𝓤𝓵𝓮 sighs. Nice pep talk. But we need to find somewhere deeper in that place. Down in the bedrock. But make sure it has a back door, okay? He nods at the sleeper. The rest of it will go to work. Alright, here, Flynn. We need to do this right. We need to take a stand on this rock. Let's not waste a moment more. So we have the ticking clock of the hunter's going to be here really fucking soon. What can you do? We have 𝓤𝓵𝓮 interface with the systems to make it unstable. Once the hunter is deep in the factory, we'll activate the old machineries, closing off routes, imprisoning a deadly threat. Mass steel hordes require direct approach. Oh god, this is going to be an annoying, tough one. Mining charges detonate at least. That's some of our fire, and then you need to set up old mining charge ordnance at the site to bring the facility down. Disguise exterior. The old siren manufacturers are ruined. To convince the hunter, you'll need to add lights, paint, signs, signatures of a working colony. Enticement. The hunter will enter the facility. You need to make it look like the site of an operational colony. I'm gonna push myself because we don't have time to fuck around. Trick is to be selective, picking likely spots to install lights, giving a sense of patchwork colony. We do not have time to farm. Alright, we need to see if she can get a partial. So your manufacturer is as good as it's gonna get, you hope it works. You know, Caden's voice comes over the comm shimmering from here. Doesn't look half bad. You come across the shell of the manufacturer's shredded light, dotted with markings of fresh weld, plates giving off the whole fragile patchwork feeling. If I was a piece of shit hunter, this would look... This is what I think an immortal person would look like, right? We better hope so. Cadence goes quiet from her attempts at humor, only serving by you both. The desperate circumstances. Have you spoken to Flynn? Cadence pause. I mean, really spoken. Not really. Oh. Cadence searches for a response. Flynn is very loyal. I know they're quiet and, well, intense, but just hoping to find some common ground. We'll get on just fine. Oh, of course, sorry. Cadence stops in. All of that is a refuge. Cadence takes a breath for all of us. I was in trouble when I met Carmen. We all were, in one way or another. Seraphin has told me a lot about you. Cadence hesitates. I can see what you're trying to do with Flynn, or see what you're trying to do for Flynn and 𝓤𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻. Let her finish. I appreciate it, and I know Xander does, and Carmen will do as well. And Flynn, Cadence pause. Well, you see. Comm clicks off, returning to the silence of the manufactory. Look out across the false colony. Glimmering lights, the poor imitation of 𝓤𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻's regal lights, indicate the colony's fragile but delicate state. You shake off. Isn't over yet. Why do I feel like the hunter's gonna go full fuck you and try to, like, decompressure the colony? Alright, I usually don't do this, but I need you to move. I need you to hack those machines. Alright, she got the neutral option, that was good. What does the last option bring us? Oh, we'll finish gathering the ordnance, so that I can help her hack the next turn. Go easy with that, Flynn's voice rumbled over the local comms. You secure the final piece of ordnance. You see them floating backlit in the entrance of the bay, one of the many that have rigged ordnance deep down in the manufactory. Down here, dust and flecks of rust float through the beams of the lights and the walls that bend and buckle. They make past cycles in here, picking out a spot to draw the hunter down. Once you'll be able to slip out of when the hunter finds their way in, though it's a long time to be down the dark tunnels waiting. You looks like we're just about done. The voice is flat. Their tone pragmatic. You okay? Flynn nods, eager to be done with this. They look over your shoulder. However, it plays out. Flynn glides out of the bay. There's something I need to tell you. Something I think you'll understand. What we're doing here out here is not about saving me. It's about 𝓤𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻. You struggle to see Flynn's face in the light behind them. I should be on the ship out there leading this hunter away, but they won't let me do that. They shake their head in frustration, and if they would, they can't spare the ship, not after Carmen got shut up. That was my mistake. I never should have let him save me come on that supply run. What's done is done. But imagine now, I need you from you. It is a promise. Flynn, Iris, bright, that promise is a promise. Flynn's bright irises flash that you'll bring the place down with me in it if it means stopping the hunter. I promise. Flynn nods. I knew you'd understand. You as well as see who gets close to us are risk. That we as sleepers recognize what the door is open to. Carmen is my fault. I won't let her be a downfall. That they turn to leave. And they go into the dark. Alright, we have one thing left. I fucking hope to God we don't get fucking, like, ones and shit. We got 3 fucking ones. I fucking... Rage. raging into machine. But the good thing is Genji has the ability to possibly just finish this for us. The 100 passengers deep in the factory is assured this might work. You float a moment, observing the chaos of the old assembly line. The scale of the structure, the number of machines, the arm of the fabricators, the welders, and the bolters suggest the industry is on the scale never witnessed. The Hellene system has a subset of leftovers, failed corporate owners, once filled with manufactories like this, churning out components and technologies and machines and resources for extraction valuable minerals and Sul'Heim's like exist to amass. This is also a massive fucking loss. I don't care what they say of how unstable this place is. This manufacturing being destroyed and not being repaired is a massive loss that I don't think people comprehend, because it's not something, because it is out in the boondocks, but this thing could easily become another floating city if time and repair was done on it and it was known. This should not be destroyed, but I understand why they're destroying it. Someone was able to rebuild one of these places and put it into operation. Imagine what could be found in the belt. What could change some of its people? Yeah, no one's will take this task because this place is haunted by specter of Solheim, an entity that every being in the system can trace the origins back to, an entity that turned the entire system into a manufacturing machine for acclamation, and that did not distinguish between human and machine as it did. You look at the broken machines, worn down, rusted, crippled, clipped, and bent. Some of them have been put into use in these pack cycles as part of your plan. Those jerk and turn randomly, blindly, groping at components that never were there to feed them. Not only them, none of them are sitting in machines like you. They cannot feel, think, yet you cannot decide if it's them for them to persist of some kind of cruelty that radiates from the system that was created, or the induction of new life. One grants them new function, new meaning, and the possibility of something more. Creepy, right? Xander floats beside you, his voice hissing through the closed ranger's comm. The hunter gets spooked by the twisting arms. He imitates the scattered movements of the old factory. More sad than creepy. Xander shrugs. If you say so. So, Xander gives you a look. How come the hunter isn't chasing you? My tracker's been deactivated. Huh? You should look lucky. Who did that? My captor? Xander gets quiet, I see. I can't deactivate Flynn's. Sure, Xander looks down. You know, maybe once we're done, he meets your eye. They need your help. Xander looks out a similar line. I like Flynn. I'm happy to do this for them. He turns back to you, and I want to like you too. So don't mess this up, alright? Xander gives you a hard look. Don't let Flynn down. He kicks off the glides. You don't want me to let him down, fucking kills him, because that's exactly what Flynn asked me to do. You watch go for a moment and then turn away. There's still so much to do. What is there to do, mister? There's so much to do. I've kind of, like, completed all the shit. Also, one of the major problems in this plan is this ship right here. I feel like we should do better trying to hide it from the hunter. And there's a little more that I can do, because I can't really do anything else more. Whip sleeper surfings in the book. We got incoming. You shake off the haze of forgotten dreams and get up. Moment, you're in a cockpit. Xander, Cadence, Seraphim all gather around the console. Local view shows nothing more. A single ship signal, a few objects beyond the scattered debris. It's here, I swear. It's right here, I swear. Hit the screen. A ship, a small but definitely a ship. 𝓤𝓵𝓮, we've all been up a while. Get some rest. I know what I saw. He catches her eye. You look at this screen, garbled or gridded view. The scattering signatures of debris. It's like schools of fish drifting 𝓤𝓵𝓮, the manufacturer's noisy blob. At the center of the circle, one dissolves into black ground of the edges, nothing. And then there it is, a flicker, a flash, a spark, a movement, a light amongst the debris cloud. It's a flare. The flare is gone again. You look up the 𝓤𝓵𝓮, he meets your eye. He reads your expression immediately. He slams down the console, opening up the 𝓥𝓮𝓬𝓽𝓸𝓻. Look alive, Flynn. They are coming in. Go deep. Get ready to run. He pulls his hand off the switch. You better hope they heard that. Look at the cockpit glass, the flare of the engine, the front of the mask, paint and mask, but driving a dark ship out of debris. The hunter ship is idle near the manufactured asteroid, drifting past, dressed up in the shell of the facility. It's time to see if our fake calling is convincing enough. Well, Cadence claps her hands together. Will they buy it? They better, 𝓤𝓵𝓮 looks concerned, because if they think the place looks abandoned, the hunter might just strafe the whole facility. We need them to dock and come inside. Look at the ship. As you do, it jumps forwards towards the docking tower. You watch as it few tense moments as it hesitates and then it slides into position. Docking bridges. Yeah, that's the other problem. Is like hunters are really ruthless in their pursuit of sleepers in this lore, because they'll blow up entire ships full of people to kill a single sleeper. You watch for a few minutes as it hesitates and then docks on the bridge. Cadence sighs in relief. They went for it. Good job. The rat's in the maze. We can track them now, at least in theory. I hooked up some basic monitoring devices. The sim line examiner calls over the console. A few shitty cameras and repurposed from factory monitoring systems. Nothing much, but hopefully it's enough to tell us where they're at. 𝓤𝓵𝓮 and you crowd around the screen examining reflects noises back. Black and white images. Static. Feeds of static. You squint into the fizzing dark trying to pick up the detail, and then you suddenly see it. Wait a second, that's a sleeper, isn't it? A shadow beneath a flickering light, dark-clad gear, long gun ready at shoulder, deathly pale, and their eyes gleaming through a faceplate glowing irises. Who the hell is that? 𝓤𝓵𝓮 pulls back from the screen. They look like a sleeper. As Andrew finishes 𝓤𝓵𝓮's sentence, the figure disappears outside the margins of the frame. Through the feed, where'd they go? That's a new thing. I don't remember, because maybe hunters are sleepers, but because technically you're supposed to get away from the hunter. I can't remember. In the first game, before it ever arrives. It's not that technically hard to do. Trying to think straight. The hunter is a sleeper or something else. You replay the image of the figure in your mind. It's already shifted in your memory. The face staring back. It's Flynn's. It's Sleeper's mask of death. Sleeper grabs you both by the shoulder and looks in your eye. We need to focus. You should get down there, Xander's eyes. This changes things. Xander's right. And the gun kicking off the cockpit while heading towards the ship airlock. You better hope nothing happens that... Okay, I was about to be like, oh, this is my fault. Go, Cadence between you and 𝓤𝓵𝓮. I'll stay here. Lance is nervously at the counter. Give me a signal, I'll detonate I'll send the detonating signal souls, or if this works. Problem is, sleepers are fucking resilient as shit, so even bringing this place down could not kill the thing. You rush down the airlock, suit up, and then get out, descending through the rock at the stream void. Although it'd be very funny if I just stole the sleeper ship, or at least destroyed it, so it couldn't escape. You enter the manufactory through a gap in its frame, passing a layer of twisted facility into deep parts where you Flynn waits in the dark. You see nothing, afraid the comms will be intercepted. You lead 𝓤𝓵𝓮 on, seeking deep bays, silos, where it's wait for detonation signal. You grab Xander, If you grab Xander and grab Flynn, then clear the facility, it can still work. 𝓤 on your shoulder, pulling you back. You speak, you see a torch beam laced in the dark. A shadow drift beneath the flicker light, and military gear, a long gun ready at their shoulder, deathly pale, their eyes gleaming through faceplate and glowing eyes. It's the hunter with eyes like you, like Flynn. The hunter is a sleeper. Both below you, they push through the dark, broken layers of the facility, seeking Flynn. Where's Xander? 𝓤 exchanged by glances and silence. The hunter passes below, disappearing in the dark passage. You wait together, the moment stretches out, and then you're still in the same patches. The silence is absolute. Then suddenly there's a flash of light ahead, a bright, forceful rumble that snakes rust off the flakes of the walls. You and 𝓤 push hard off, gliding into the dark, desperate and afraid. You come into view. Low bay scattered, glowing embers, torch scorch holes the walls. Spews of red-hot metal, where the weapon has been discharged. The hunter floats in the center, taking aim again. You see a flicker of movement at the far side. Flynn's retreating. Before you act, a slight figure in the suit slams the back of the hunter. As he hits, the hunter, his gun spins. Fucking grab his gun! Let's go! You kick off from Xander, and the hunter grapples together. Spinning in dark, deeper shaft, far side of the bay, you spot the shape of the long gun that spins towards you. As you reach the hand locking around the grip, you spin and raise it. You take a moment to steady your aim. The scorching shot blazes off the side of the hunter's suit, and a flare sparks. They're thrown away from Xander, unable to find anything. Slow their glide. The hunter disappears in the dark, fleeing a tail of embers in the dark. You see fear in Xander's eye. They turn back to you. The muzzle of the gun smokes. Red. It is spent. I've got Flynn. 𝓤 calls over the local comms. Ascend now. Look across the two, kicking out from the door of the rig, a hole in the ceiling. You and Xander exchange a signal glance, then follow. Cadence? Detonate this place is no. Send the command signal. There's silence. You ascend through the layers of the manufacturing. See open void beyond. You clear the manufacturing, letting the open space. A silent shockwave, like a gust of wind, runs through the void. A silent rumble spits out scattered debris. You turn back, gliding towards the ship. You see a shattered manufactory. This whole section is bending outwards like framework shredded, the plates tumbling away, and the shards. You look across 𝓤 and Flynn, their eyes set on the ship, trying only to stay the debris. You do the same, fixing your attention on the rig and nothing else. The hunter is dead. I don't fucking believe that. I don't believe that remotely. I do not believe that. The hunter is fucking resilient. Even if it was shot, even if it was exploded, unless the ship is destroyed, I'm not confident in that. Well, there's nothing to do, so I'm assuming we'll leave. Went back to 𝓤𝓪𝓬𝓬𝓬. The mood of the rig is one of deep exhaustion. The colony appears visible from the cockpit, satisfied with affection, having what a terrifying gauntlet come back in one piece. Shifts the mood. Crude mood improves only because it's more obvious that you draw closer to 𝓤𝓪𝓬𝓬. As you come to dock the colony, you feel a wave of relief. 𝓤 both wait to open the airlock. The hunter, he says, 𝓤 is crueler than I've imagined. Doesn't surprise. Technically, it doesn't surprise me because, of course, they would send sleepers to hunt other sleepers because they probably have a kill signal inside that sleeper that would kill them if they resisted that order. Or maybe they're a sleeper that enjoys more privileges. You never know how they would set it up. Doesn't surprise me. It's nasty logic. Send a sleeper to catch a sleeper. Shakes his head. I'm glad it's brought friends some freedom. The airlock kisses revealing the docking bridge where Xander first confronted you. This time, another more substantial figure waits in the passage. I heard you ones thanking to save my life. Carmen leans against the side of the tunnel. One arm clasps at his waist, so thank you. He nods to the two of you. Good to see you up. Just about, although I'm told I shouldn't be. He smiles slyly. Carmen. Cadence rushes past the two of you, gliding into Carmen with an embrace strong enough to leave an injured man off balance. Alright, careful. You don't want to put me back in the med bay, do you now? Carmen pushes back Cadence with a gentle grip on her shoulders. He flinches as he does, his joke clearly holding some truth. Sorry, Cadence smiles. I'm just glad to see you up. A frown crosses Carmen. Where's Xander? You losing vision, old man? You see Xander and Flynn behind you. The tall Xander smiles warmly at Carmen, betraying his happiness to see him. I'll be fine, Zan. Carmen's words are confident, but his tone suggests he isn't confident. You see his hands slightly balled into fish as he's resisting the pain. You wonder if he really should be up at all. Turn to Carmen turns to look at you, and Seraphim, I think we need to talk. Why don't you two first, and Flynn accompany me to the medbay. Carmen winks. Flynn pushes past you both, goes to Carmen, helping him out of the tunnel. As he does, they exchange a few words, too far to make them out. You and Seraphim exchange glances and follow behind them into the elevator. Carmen leads you in the small covered chamber of the medbay, where his bed's set up, and a handful of tubes wiring float gently beside. Two of you attached to a boxy devices. Flynn's already left the group, leaving you and Seraphim with Oliver's injured founder. Carmen eyes you with a hard look. So, how'd you two end up stumbling on our colony at Shoals? He raises his eyebrows. Because I'm not usually open to it. So we're not usually open to visitors. Annika sent us to you. You see a flicker of recognition in Carmen's eyes when you mention Annika. You produce the thumb-thigh, holding up to Carmen to inspect. She told the sleeper to deliver it to you and you alone. Sleeper Seraphim folds his arms, and then Carmen pauses thoughtfully. That name I have not heard in a while. He takes the drive. It seems I should thank you again, he sighs. Perhaps I owe you an explanation of myself. Annika and I used to work together a lifetime ago. Carmen shakes his head. We went our separate ways, but then she turned back up in Oliveira. I established a colony in this refuge away starting again. Carmen clasped his hand together. The belt is changing, and I'm afraid of what's coming. Annika took refuge here for a short while, and 1 cycle ago she was gone. Then Carmen shrugs. That's not unusual for her. Each of us has her own demons. He holds up the drive. I'll take a look at what's on here. When I'm able, he looks at the drive with concern. I'll let you know what I find. You find Seraphim and thank him. You and Seraphim thank him. Leave the chambers as he settles into his recovery bed. As you leave, Flynn catches your attention. Can we speak? Seraphim pauses. I'll catch you up at the rig. Catch you back on the rig. He looks between you two and then glides away. Finn hovers, a concern on their mask-laced face. What do you need? Flynn gives a curious look. You don't remember any of it, do you? Any of what? Of how you got here, of your history? Flynn screws up his face, pained expression. At first, I thought you were hiding something. Or you were intentionally avoiding the subject, so I waited, but I understand now. You don't remember me at all. You take a moment to think. You try to recall Flynn, your furrowed brows, frustration shifting through hazy memories of Darkside. And further you go back at the arrival of the belt, you close your eyes. You see faces of other sleepers, panicked, desperate, in darkness. I don't remember. We worked together in the same SNR mining installation, along with other sleepers. He searches your eyes for a spark of recognition. We worked close. I'm not sure we really spoke. Very few of us did. But I was there when we planned the escape together. The run to the freighter, the collapsing of the mine shaft. Flynn stops, struggling to continue in the face of a blank look that you're giving them. You feel an unpleasant itch of something crawling inside your skull. You can see Flynn wants you to recall them, to recall the escape, the installation, but you only find a hazy sensation beneath them and pain. Sorry, I didn't mean to. He looks down. I know you can't help it. I just need to say something to know if you really don't remember. Thank you for everything you've done for me and Loughborough. Flynn turns to drift away dejectedly, unable to continue. As you watch someone go, you scratch the side of your head, trying to find something in the way they move, the way they speak, the mask-like face, a face that's identical to yours. It was a first cast, but over cycle after cycle where damage has been transformed, two machines so close to in form and function estranged by spirits. I love how I looked at that in the game today. I don't think that's supposed to work like that. Alright, we're gonna feed the cat. The cat needs food. I'm gonna interface up. We now only need 4 points and we can get our endurance to max. Find some raw scrap. Alright. I'm gonna end it here because next time I will then talk to Carmen. Or at least this video. I'm gonna take a small break and then continue onwards. But yeah, I'll be right back. Thank you for stopping by and watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please give me a subscription, leave a comment, a like. Maybe head over to my Twitch and Kick and follow me there and say hi. I hope you have a great, wonderful rest of your day.
The night is young, but it feels so old. A story written, yet never told. The mask is heavy, the air is thin. The game begins, but no one wins. Oh, it shines like